All right, what's up? Oh my God! Welcome to another episode of Crossing the Streams.
right.
We got a killer show for you today. Special guest Maria Daniels, standing up, so cutting her own head off. That's fine though.
I'm standing up anyway.
We can vouch for the top of her head. It's there. The before we get rocking and rolling, we're gonna go right to the theme song. Maria's been practicing all week.
God, I did not.
All week. Take it away, Maria.
All right, here's the story of some lonely fellows who spends way too much time watching TV. All of them have children friends. Well, not really. Just between you and me.
Right.
Too many words.
They made a live show out of their hobby. Every TV watcher's TV watching dream. Jeff runs Sal and Bob, and there's Howard. Do it, Maria. They call it Crossing Streams.
Bob.
And then one day that went live on all the platforms. You could hear the people laugh and shout and scream. Still can't find another word that rhymes with platforms. But man, we cross the streams.
Here we go.
Oh,
we cross the streams. We cross the streams.
That's the way we do
it here. We cross the streams.
Bom, bom. All right.
That
Oh,
was rough.
guys, episode 65. Welcome to episode 65 of Crossing the Streams, the ultimate show that answers the universal question, what should I be watching now that I've finished X? We're here to help you, and sometimes we're here to warn you as well. We got 2 red flags on the play coming up for you this episode. We believe we should focus you on things you should watch and the things that are trying to suck you in and warn you of them. So that's what we do here at Crossing the Streams. We have a special guest today, first time on the show, Maria Daniels.
Hi, Maria.
Hey,
I sat down so I had a head and a face. Hello, how are you?
Good.
So, Maria, tell everyone about your. Jason was a big fan. Jason. And let's see, Maria.
There's Jerry.
You know, I see that. I feel like you need a little estrogen in here.
And Lee's in the
Lee
house.
says, "Hey, what's up, Lee?"
Hello.
And then Fred.
Fred.
Hello,
Good to
Fred.
see you, buddy.
All right. So
all the regulars.
Maria has like 15 podcasts, 25 businesses. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Maria.
I don't think I have that many. Actually, I'd have to sit and count. But I do own several businesses. I have a lot of kids. A lot of people know me from all my kids. I have 7 children.
Wow.
And which is why I'm talking about the show that I'm talking about today. I do have several podcasts and live shows, but yeah, my newest business venture actually is my coffee shop, which I was talking to Ron about that before we went live on air. Just a little bit about that. I'm a coffee lover, I'm a foodie, and got to kind of put all that together in my newest business. I'm actually sitting in it right now, an old bank that we renovated and turned into a co-working space and a business hub. So we put the cafe and coffee shop in that building. So been a pretty cool experience. A lot of work, but
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So free coffee from Maria. Just tweet her at Maria Daniels. Free coffee.
I just think it's admirable that with 7 kids, you have any time at all to hang out with us dumbasses here.
Well, that's the reason whenever I came on, I was like, Lord, I was not doing the math on, I get up at 4:30. So like 9:30, I'm usually in bed. So excuse me and all my dirt circles, but you know, that's how it goes. But yeah.
All good. For those of you playing along at home, we do have a drinking game brought to you by Jerry and Carmen. So anytime one of us on the show drinks, you can drink. That's usually Bob or Sal. Keep an eye on them. If we have a technical issue, drink. If we have to be asked what platform the show is on that we're talking about, drink. If we put your name on the screen as a comment, drink. If we forget the actors or some important detail, drink. So hopefully with those rules in place, you'll make it through most of the show. As we did last week, we still stand with Ukraine, and we are thoughts go out to them.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we
and hopefully peaceful resolution. Speaking of resolution, if you are into Michigan and you love podcasts, and why wouldn't you, Vote for my podcast live from Detroit, the Jeff DeWaskin Show. It's not that you shouldn't vote for Sal and Bob. It's just they're not nominated. Only I'm nominated. And it's sad how many people I had to it's sad how many people I had to explain that to. I'm like, can you vote for my podcast? You beat my podcast. Well, it's not that you don't have a mighty fine podcast, sir, but mine's the one that's in the finals. So let's
Are
focus.
you still listed? Are you still listed under caterer?
I voted for you.
Caterer, yeah. Just search Control F podcast and search for podcasts.
Can I throw a little something in here for good luck to you on that? I think you're going to win that. We are not in the running, but what is it? Good Pod? What's the name of that? Good Pods or
Good Pods is a
Good Pods? Yeah, Sal and Bob, number 50.
Nice.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice.
Countrywide, so that ain't bad.
No, that ain't bad. I mean, I'm number 1 TV film and number 6 comedy, but 50 is good.
Comedy interview, baby.
I love that, Jeff.
It's good. It's good. Remember, you got to switch to indie too. Sometimes you'll jump in the charts if you look at the indie version of those.
Well,
charts.
I mean, if you're putting yourself in every category, you should.
Well, here's the way. I guess the point that Sal's making is check out our podcast, the Jeff DeWaskin Show, and Sal and Bob Show on Good Pods. Anywhere you find podcasts, we're there. But check us out on Good Pods because it helps us rank on that fabulous
drinking
app.
already. Started drinking.
Started
drinking. We mentioned platform.
Jerry voted and now has a subscription to our magazine. So thank you, Jerry.
That's good.
Mr. Chacon coming through with the.
All right. Well, we got a jam-packed episode today, but let's talk about last week's episode. Project Azorian, which I started to watch. Very interesting. That's on Amazon. 7 Yards, the Chris Norton story. Sal, when he's not bringing us rom-coms, is bringing us inspiration week after week. Our guests brought us Archive 81, and Bob talked about Jim and Andy, The Great Beyond, one of the only biopics that he truly loved. So that's cool. So this week we got some really cool stuff. We got worst roommate, or it's actually 2 hidden non-gems, if you will. The worst roommate ever,
Right.
Encanto, The Royal Treatment, Inventing Anna, and Spycraft. So we got it's chock full. We're gonna start with worst roommate ever. This is part of the Ron Lippett. Don't watch this.
Algorithm.
Right.
It's algorithm. Hey, Jeff, put that graphic back up for a second. Guys, take a good close look at that graphic, right? So think to yourself, this comes around your algorithm. You have no idea what this show is. It's titled Worst Roommate Ever. You got the creepy looking eye at you. This might be something that interests you, right? You might take a look at this. Say, I don't want a bad roommate. Like, what happened to this person's roommate? Like, this is going to be an interesting story. You got to figure. I'm gonna want to find out what happened that would make this person the worst roommate ever. And let me just tell you, Netflix, why do you hurt me so? Why would you put this steaming pile of camel turd right in front of me and trick me on this? Because I can tell you right now, the best thing about this show is the freaking title and the graphic that you just saw. Because all this show is repurposed bullshit true crime documentary stuff.
Man,
that all of us like on a Thursday night you stumble upon it at 10 o'clock on CNN, like these or one of the not CNN, but one of the channels that shows like these 30-minute true crime documentaries.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's exactly what this is. There is nothing to this show. There's no pizzazz. There's no production. It's all old footage. The voiceover is bad. I am shocked that Netflix would package this up.
Is Robert Stack narrating it?
No,
do not research the memory of Ron. Let me say something real quick about this particular show. So you know how Netflix, I have Amazon Fire, so I don't know how it works. Maybe it's like if you're in the Netflix thing and if you stop on one, it all of a sudden it thinks your volume. It takes somehow your volume, which was at 5, let's say, and plays their preview at a 40 level. Like they
Yeah.
amp it up so
Yeah, they do.
loud
Yeah.
that it's like you have to find the remote and turn it down because and it doesn't stop. There's no way I know human possible to stop those previews. You have to let it run. The preview for Worst Roommate Ever was something like, and the blood soaked floor we later found was human body fluids, broken down. And I'm thinking to myself, I would never in a million years watch this. That was so vile.
Well, so,
they didn't, there was like, who is that pulling in?
Oh, Ron.
Listen,
Ron. Besides Ron,
let me share with you.
You deserve to hate this show.
I deserve to hate this show. They deserve my hate right back, Netflix. I hope you're listening to this because I'm going to tell the world about this friggin' show. It's number 5 right now, by the way. Number 5 rated Netflix show.
Wow.
It is everywhere on their algorithm. You can't go anywhere inside Netflix now and not see this show on the strip for new and recommended.
I'm looking it up.
Recommended shows. So pissed off that they would do that, right? Then going into the show, it becomes almost immediately apparent that the show isn't really anything but just repackaged stuff that is all unnuanced, just documentary stuff that they probably bought from other things and threw it all together. Now, I will say this. The initial episode, by the way, there's 5 episodes. It's 4 stories. For some unknown reason, the story of Jameson Bachman, who's a serial killer, they decided to put 2 episodes to tell that whole story. But the most interesting story of the whole show is actually the very first story of
Lee for the win.
Sorry, Ron. Lee came in with a great joke.
Lee Camel Turd could be
the new rating system.
Jeff, we've got to work on that graphic.
Yeah, we will. I'm gonna
right. Right. So thank you, Lee. Appreciate that. Do you guys remember Dorothea Pawlenty? Does this name ring a bell to you guys?
It sounds familiar.
Yeah, a little bit.
She was the serial killer granny in California. She was murdering people, burying them in the backyard. She was running a kind of like a halfway house for former drug addicts and homeless and mentally ill people, and she was killing them, burying them in the backyard, and taking their Social Security checks for years. But no one believed that she was capable of it because she was his grandmother. She's this silver-haired grandmother that gave back to the community and donated her time and money and baked at the PTA and all, right. I mean, like all the classic grandmother stuff, and yet she was this freaking serial killer. That was an interesting story. I will just say this, but in the telling of the story of Dorothea Pawlenty, it looked like it was from like 1971 that they put this thing together. Just bad video, bad overlays. The graphics were not good at all. The storytelling was not good. It just was bad. And I'm really sorry that I'm here to tell a story about why Netflix and the algorithm has really let me down, because it's now I have to question whether the algorithm is the correct one, because up till now, you guys have seen me. I've been very optimistic about algorithms, but this one really sucked. So I would recommend highly stay away. If you are going to watch the show, just watch the very first episode about the granny. That's an interesting story, but I think you could probably find it in a better
Jerry
version somewhere else.
5 camel turds.
5. Let's see.
That's awesome.
Good.
So yes, so stay away, guys. I will do better next week.
Hey, Carmen. Yes. All right. Well, you did a good job. I think, in theory, that should be it's a great name, and there's got to be a million really great. I think I've told the story about my college roommate that shot his girlfriend and killed himself. But and then my other suite mates that stole all my stuff. Anyway, but there's a million great stories. So it's like when I saw that, I'm like, oh, that's a great concept. But
yes,
execution, no. All right.
Execution, no.
The people are calling for a palate cleanser. We are going to deliver.
There we go.
A happy movie. I hear nothing but good things.
Loved
I'm excited for Maria, who has 7 kids, to tell us all about it.
I'm excited because out of all the movies and shows that you mentioned, this is the only one that I know of. So I am not a TV watcher at all. And this one I actually like this one. I we mentioned earlier that I have lots of businesses. Obviously, I'm busy between the kids and all the other things, so I just don't watch TV very often. But this has been like a daily in our house. Not only a daily in our house, but I was sharing with you all before we went live that all the way to the babysitter, it's surface pressure, and then we don't talk about Bruno song all the way there. Pick them up all the way back, same thing, surface pressure, and we don't talk about Bruno. Every single day, like clockwork. So it's been a big part of our life. But I mean, some of the shows the kids pick completely suck. I mean, I could name a lot of those, but this one's actually really good. I actually really enjoyed it. Have you all seen it?
I have.
I thought it was
very moving.
Yes, I thought it was really, really well done. I really have been happy with a lot of the Disney and Pixar films lately, though. They've really tapped in on some big adult emotions, and so it's keeping the adults entertained while the kids are forcing us to watch it with them, so it's kind of a win-win. But this one, it's probably in my top 3 favorites. So that's hard to choose.
Well, now hold on. That begs to the question, right? If you're gonna say it's top 3, what are the other 2?
I really love Princess and the Frog, mainly because of the music. So I really love the music in Princess and the Frog. And my other one would probably be Brave. If you had to actually put my feet to the fire, I really like that one. Just because it's different. It's so different than all the rest of them. But there's been some other really great ones. But I really loved this one and how it was so unexpected. That I hate to give spoilers. Do you all give spoilers on here, or do you really shy away from spoilers?
I think the movie's been out for 3 months.
Yeah, I think we're safe on this one.
I don't know the rules on this, so okay. So anyway, I thought it was really great that her gift was almost hidden, right? So it seemed like she didn't get a gift like all of the rest of her family, but her gift was the fact that she brought everybody together. Right, so it was just really moving.
Oh man, you don't ruin the show.
Oh.
Well, you said spoilers. But anyway, pretty good. I really loved it. I know that I guess we're supposed to take shots, and I don't have any shots in here if I don't know the actors' names. I know nobody's names. I do know that John Leguizamo's in there. I do know that, but I think that Jessica Darrow, I think's in it, and I don't know anybody else. But I can read it off of my phone if you need me to. But I don't know them.
We're good.
Okay. Do now what? What else do you want? You want to ask me questions, or how do you want to do this?
I wanted to. As a mother of 7, you have seen every Disney. In the last 20 years? Okay.
My oldest daughter's 23. My youngest daughter's 5. Okay. I actually have 2 granddaughters. So.
Okay, and I've got a couple
you're a
of
grandma? No.
I am. I have.
That's not possible.
It is.
My question is this: does it seem to you that it seems to me that there has been a shift in the central storytelling of Disney films over the last, say, 3 to 5 years, where for the longest time it was kids, somebody finding their, being empowered and finding their courage and overcoming something. Now it seems that it's it's very touchy-feely now, which is good. I think it started with what was the one just a few years ago with why can't I remember this? Because I'm 60. That's why. It was
what country was it in, or what?
It was in the brain. It was in the brain of a little girl. It was in the brain of a little girl who moved.
Inside Out.
Inside Out. Yeah, great movie. So that seemed to start this sort of wave of really, getting kids to be able to talk about their feelings and stuff. And I I'm not a real touchy-feely person, but it seems that has been a really nice movement for them, especially with this Encanto, because I thought that the point of it was really good. And it was especially good because that the central character was a young girl.
Mm-hmm.
And so, as a mother, what do you think of that?
Well, I mean, I think it's huge on a lot of levels. And my 12-year-old's autistic. He's high functioning. He has high functioning autism. So that was actually a really great movie for him, the Inside Out that you mentioned. It was, and for all of us really, because it's stuff that we know, right? But having it right there animated kind of in front of our face, it kind of made it more real. So I really love the way that this is going. And not only that, but I've also seen a big wave of female empowerment within Disney. It used to be a whole lot of, like somebody rides in and saves the damsel in distress, and she was always, lived happily ever after, which is great, whatever, that's a story. But I love that all of the stories aren't like that now. That, there's a lot of layers, especially since it's Women's History Month. This is March, Women's History Month. So that's a big thing. I love that some of the younger generations now are getting to see that, you don't necessarily have to have somebody come into your life to quote unquote save you. You have the ability to kind of do that on your own. You can save yourself, right? And I think there's a layer of that that's great for boys, girls alike. That says that, same thing for the boys. The boys don't have to go save the girl, and the girls don't necessarily need saved. And I think it's a good thing to be able to talk about with children, because it wasn't like that whenever I was younger. So I think that's been really cool to see how, Disney is really doing this and diving in deeper on some really, really big emotions and some really big things, but in a way that's still fun and entertaining for kids.
Mm-hmm. I'm hoping they start to tackle more, serious subjects. Like, I want to see the real story of the next princess going into county lockup and seeing how she navigates that.
It's our
yeah, that'd be good.
Our mutual friend Sal and Jeff, Kristen Key has a great. She's a very funny comedian. She has a great bit about Cinderella. She's like, look, she's a drunk. Drunk people lose shoes. Okay, that's the story. That's it.
That's
Makes
good.
sense to me.
We're big Maria over here, big fans of Moana, and
I love Moana.
Moana's good. Moana's good.
It is really good.
That still is our favorite one over
It
here.
used to be I used to only watch. I watched every one of those Disney movies. starting with Toy Story. Like it's just every Pixar, everything. I loved all those.
I can tell you one thing that gets on my nerves, though. I just said a million good things about Disney, so I'm going to tell you one thing that gets on my last nerve. When they do a sequel, but they rewind all the things that happened, they make Simba a cub again, or they do all the stuff, and you're like, wait, how are you rewinding? And how is Simba a cub again when we were? I hate that.
It's called a prequel.
I don't like it. Whatever.
And,
No. It's not a prequel. It's not a prequel, because a prequel.
You mean like Muppet Babies? Like a Muppet that must drive you crazy. Muppet Babies.
But I'm talking about like all of the things still happened, but yet he's younger again. I don't know. Anyway, it gets
I get it. All right. We're gonna move on. So this next show I'm gonna discuss. It's called Inventing Anna. Inventing Anna. I know, I just was being dramatic.
Uncut Gems.
Inspired by the true story of a total fake. So, all right. So this, I think this may have been an algorithm thing for me. It's the hottest thing going. So maybe showing up in the top 10 is how the algorithm finds me. But Inventing Anna is a 9-episode series on Netflix. It is basically the permanent.
What's it? What are you trying to say?
It has basically become a part of pop culture. It's already been parodied on Saturday Night Live. It's everything. So it's a Shonda Rhimes 9-episode series based on a true story. They cleverly open up. Permeated. That was what it was. They cleverly open up every episode to say this: what you're about to watch is completely true, except for the stuff we made up. Right. So the framework of the story is true, but it's meant to be told in a very entertaining Shonda Rhimes, Shondaland manner. Now, just to give you an idea, if I was watching this show and I said to my wife, if this was just a made-up Shonda Rhimes series, I would have bailed after one episode. The only thing that kept me riveted and waiting for each new episode was the fact that I knew that this was mostly true and based on a true story. So this is it's got a really good cast. It's got Julia Garner is Anna Delvey, who plays a Russian con artist pretending to be a German heiress. So if you've had, and she dupes all of the New York social scene and party scene, and basically takes bankers and all these people, very popular people, for hundreds of thousands of dollars, like insane amounts, claiming she's a German heiress with a trust fund of $60 million. Now, I'm not giving it away that she's a con artist, because it doesn't like go. It starts in the beginning when she's in jail, and the entire series is based on a article from the New York Magazine by Jessica Pressler called "How Anna Delvey Tricked New York's Party People." So if you go read that article, if you've read the article, most of that is pulled right into the series. A lot of it is. And so what we find is a character named Vivian Kent, who's played by Anna Klumsky, who was from My Girl with why am I blanking on his name?
Macaulay Culkin. And you were ripping on me.
I know I have written that, but you don't think you forget Macaulay Culkin.
I knew that name. You should know that about yourself.
She's best known for killing Macaulay Culkin in My Girl. No, I think the bee killed him. But anyway, the point is, she's riveting. She is amazing in this series as Vivian Kent, who finds out about this Anna Sorokin is her real name in the show, but she had gone by Anna Delvey as the con artist. She's going to kind of find the story. So she starts to interview Anna, and this is the story of how episode by episode she's kind of digging deeper, and each episode kind of goes a little bit into one of the relationships that Anna has with Casey Duke, who's her trainer, who's played brilliantly by Lorraine Cox, and then Rachel Williams, who's played by Katie Lowes. Rachel Williams is sort of crafted as like I don't want to say villain, but they kind of use her to deflect, to kind of question whether Anna's motives were what they were, or, there's a whole kind of thread that goes on, which is Anna claims never to have really asked for the money or stolen the money. They wanted to give it to her. Like, that's how good she was.
Yeah.
Like, she painted such a picture that that people were just kind of giving her money. So this Rachel Williams ended up exposing her with an article and wrote a book, and after being stung by Anna Delvey. And so that's a whole thread. Rachel Williams, the real Rachel Williams in real life, kind of called this series a dangerous distortion. And interestingly enough, Netflix paid Anna Sorokin, the real Anna Sorokin, $300,000 for this story. So imagine,
still grifting. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, she was in Rikers, she was in jail. I mean, I was just it's just an interesting thing. I had read that it's illegal to pay someone for their story, at least in New York, but I don't know. Anyway, so there's Ariane Moayed. I don't know if I pronounced his name right. Is Todd. He plays the lawyer. He was in Succession, and to let you know how good. In Succession, he was like this hot shot, the money going in and out. And it took me a while to realize it was the same guy, because that's a compliment, because his acting was so different in this show. Even like after I made the connection, I'm like, I can't believe it's the same guy. I mean, it was just really good how he could kind of play two completely separate characters. And then Alexis Floyd is Neff, who is the friend to the end. Like, I think even to this day, she thinks Anna Delvey is still A-okay in her book. But it's just interesting. So the idea is that it takes you through Anna Klumsky's character, Vivian Kent, diving in and trying to figure out who this person is that was able to pull off all of these things. There's a couple of themes throughout all the 9 episodes, which is that women are treated much differently than men, and that men tend to fail up, and when women fail, they are kind of knocked down many pegs. One the one thread that they do with that is with Anna Klumsky's character, where she had done something and her male counterpart had kind of screwed her over. Her career got ruined, but he ends up getting promoted, and now he's her boss. And then the other thing with Anna Delvey is when she was found corrupt, she ends up in Rikers, and then they were showing all these examples of men who had done things like that. The lawyer who had actually given her the money or got her all of this access, lied on the form, ends up 3 promotions later, he's like 3 promotions up, and she's like in Rikers, right?
Yeah.
And so it was an interesting theme, one you don't disagree with, but it was interesting to see it kind of played out. But anyway, I found this show riveting. I couldn't wait for the next episode. Anna Delvey, Julia Gardner's accent, you've probably heard parodied at this point. There's many.
Is it bad? Is it a badly done accent, or is it?
No, I think it's brilliant. It's just
okay.
Like you can't wait to hear her talk more, in my opinion.
So she's a Russian pretending to be German,
yeah,
speaking English.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know, Jeff. I mean, I granted, to be fair, I'm only 1 episode in, but I find her accent completely laughable, and and part of the vibe of the show about how fake she is, that her accent matches how fake she is. Like,
is it as bad as Lady Gaga's in House of Gucci? Good Lord.
I started watching House of Gucci. I like her accent. You're not special, Ron.
Yeah, it sounds.
VIP is always better, Sal.
I'm assuming the accent was by design, as kind of like a parallel of how fake she is in life, that her accent would be so fake.
Yeah, but that's supposedly kind of how she talks, though. I mean, like Anna Delvey, even herself, the real one. It is. Ron, are you pregnant, or are you so very, very fat?
Yeah.
These are all quotes from the movie, but
it is. What are you wearing? What are you wearing? Why would you wear something like that?
The interesting thing about the Anna Delvey character is her ability to pivot out of situations and kind of shame people and kind of get people thinking about something else. She was a master. I imagine in real life too, since of the things that she pulled off. Of diversion.
I mean, the actor and her name, I'm blanking on her name, but Anna Delvey, she's just so wonderful in Ozark. Julia Gardner, thank you. She's so wonderful in Ozark, and I think that was her breakout, and everybody knows her in Ozark. And now to see her, I will say this: to see her in this outlandish, completely different role.
Yeah.
It does measure how far her range is, and for that I give her a lot of credit.
Yeah, I think she's great. I think she's great. I definitely recommend it. It's a lot of great acting. It's great storytelling, and I think you'll enjoy it. I did see it, in all fairness, on one of those articles that said these are too long shows. It could be shorter, which I know is one of our themes here. But I didn't feel that way. I enjoyed it.
It's no worst roommate ever, but it's pretty good. It's a decent show.
It's good. All right, let's talk about something else. What do you say, folks? All right. Well, it's not Christmas, but that doesn't mean we can't fall in love. Sal's going to talk us through.
Who knew Sal had such a tender heart?
No, listen. Just rewind the tape of our show and just play everything that Ron said about his Netflix algorithm show.
Yeah.
This was the worst piece of garbage. Even me that likes these kind of movies, it was just really bad. And I did everything I could to kind of fast forward some parts, but I was doing my taxes while I was watching this thing. I did laundry. I was cooking a steak. I was scrolling Facebook, all while watching this thing. It's just really bad. They just took beautiful people and tried to make the story that we've all heard. The princess comes into town. The prince comes into town and lures the regular girl away, but
Of
he's
course.
getting married. So she's a hairdresser. That's the only thing that's different maybe about the other stories. Maybe Maria probably has 100 stories like this with her kids' movies, but this is it's just picture Salma Hayek, because that's what this girl looks like. Her name is Laura Marano, and then he is Mena Massoud, and he looks like the guy from I'm horrible at names too, but the guy from Entourage. Is it Griner, like that?
Yeah.
His name? The lead from Entourage with that show.
Oh,
Like
Vinny.
his
Vincent.
Vincent
Yeah.
Chase, but the actor's name.
But the actual actor.
Yes, correct. So anyway, and then she's a hairdresser, and he's in New York on business, and he goes and gets a haircut from her, and is falling in love with her, and he's getting married, so he hires her to do all of the wedding party in Lavinia, which is Brazil. Yeah, Brazil. And so anyway, they go back there. They got the mother-in-law. That's the mother-in-law is.
I'm angry hearing about it.
And sneaks up on them, kind of having a lunch in Lavinia, and then the end. It's the girl he was about to marry says, "I don't want to marry you." He says, "Oh, thank God, I don't want to marry you either. I'm in love with the hairdresser that we brought to Lavinia," and they get together, and that's the end of the movie. And it's stupid. We've all seen it. But here's the deal: we've all seen this kind of movie, but they make it funny. People.
No, we haven't.
Funny.
Sal, only
Yes.
you.
It's been done, and you can do it in a good way and make it funny. But these people didn't do that. I give it seriously like 1 tomato sauce jar. Maybe.
Oh, the lowest ever.
It's
How many camel turds is that?
Oh.
It's really bad. Even for my standard of watching these kinds of movies, it's just really bad. But pretty actors, if you like just watching beautiful people on screen.
So the funny thing is, when I was making the, just the transition screen right there, I go, oh no, I think Sal messed up. He did this one already, because that poster looked like it looked
He
like
did do it.
every other one I've ever seen. It's like
all the same.
Yeah, it's a Hallmark. It's a Hallmark movie on Netflix.
What does Fred say? No. Okay, we got 4 camel turds and a tomato.
But only one. No. Hold on. It was 4.
It was 4 camel turds and then one tomato sauce.
That's a correct.
I didn't even know they made emojis for
tomato cans.
Tomato cans.
No, that's a correct rating, Jerry. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
that was really good.
Well, we're not done.
Did you mention that Isabella, who ran her own salon, wasn't afraid to speak her own mind when you were?
Yes, exactly. Even the Italians are bad. It's like the Olive Garden of Italians in this movie, But no, you should have seen the grandmother. That she looked like she was 38 years old. She was supposed to be the 80-year-old grandmother in this thing. They couldn't even get a real grandmother actress.
I want to say I speak from many, many years of experience and 1,000 different situations on the road with Sal, doing shows with Sal, hanging out, watching TV with Sal. Sal can find something good in almost everything. He's just a big, happy guy. So if he's dissing this thing, you got to stay away from it, people.
Stay away.
It'll hurt you if you watch this.
So give yourself the royal treatment and stay away from the royal treatment. All right. Well, it turns out that this entire episode almost is ways to not spend your time. Let's talk about Spycraft. I mean, the image alone from Netflix sucks me right in.
And I wanted to like this. I wanted so badly to like this, but what a piece of shit. The absolute. How do you make this subject boring? How does that happen?
What's the subject?
It's Spycraft. It's espionage. It's spying, Russian and in America, and Americans in Russia and East Germany, and all over the world. Cold War stories, all the kind of stuff that has made they've made a lot of great movies of over the years. There is absolutely nothing new here. This is the most cursory look at. You could walk up to a random drunk on the street and ask them what they know about chemical poisoning, and he would tell you more than what is revealed in Spycraft. It is. I couldn't believe how, and it started off bad right from the get. There is nobody in this that has any credibility. You think that they would find some old spy masters, and get them to talk. I mean, this is America. After a few years, you can, it becomes declassified, and you can become a lobbyist or whatever it is. You can trade on all that information you gained over the years. No, they got. I don't know who these people are. I mean, they could be extras from the royal treatment. They were, and they just put a mic in front of them.
Can't be that bad.
It's so boring, and there's nothing new. I mean, they're talking about Mata Hari, for God's sake. That was literally 100 years ago, and I kept waiting. I kept waiting for it to turn the corner, and it just never did. One of the most well, I don't want to say exciting, because it was a Russian spy here operating in the United States for 10 years. But one of the most titillating stories was a Russian woman, Anna Volenskaya, I think it was her real name. And here she operated as Anna Chapman. Okay. And she was like this character in the series that you described, Jeff. She was but she was a real life spy, and she planted herself in New York. Her handlers put her there, and she was a gorgeous Russian young woman. Maybe, I think she was 25 when she hit our shores. Anyway, she put herself, injected herself into New York society. Now, you'd think that would make for an interesting story. No, this show
You'd be wrong.
It beats all the blood out of everything. You're just sitting there going, okay, when is something going to happen? How could they have made 8 episodes? Well, then you realize, you know what? These episodes are like 35, 38 minutes. They're just sort of unevenly paced. It's just the bare minimum to make, it's if they crammed them all together, it would be a 3-hour movie, right? But nobody's going to sit still for that. So they elongate it. And I don't know. I'm not a negative person. I'm usually aware of what I'm going to watch, and I really like what I watch because I don't watch a whole lot. This is a complete bore-a-thon. You will learn nothing that you can't learn at a bar some night, and just poking the guy next to you, saying, "What do you tell me about electronic surveillance?" It's a total disappointment.
Wow.
And this I think this is
Wow.
it came out at this time in 2021. It was one of those things that just comes out because they need content.
How many camel turds for this one?
I was so I don't know, how many can we award to this?
Well, I think we have a 5 turd scale.
I'm gonna give it 4. I'm gonna just because there were a few interesting facts about poisonings that I didn't know. but even that,
if Bob didn't learn how to kill someone, this would have gotten 5 turds.
So, yeah. Bob, it sounds like your review and my review were very similar. Like,
yes,
and mine.
Well, yours with the rom-com bullshit.
It wasn't a good one.
It sounds like your shows weren't very VIP.
Yeah, I'm warning everybody off of this. Don't worry. Don't bother it. You haven't heard of it because it sucks.
Jerry came through.
Don't watch Royal
So
Treatment
it sounds
either.
like, what did we learn?
Maybe
We learned
that's
Encanto.
There you go, Jerry.
We got watching Encanto,
Yeah.
and then watch Inventing Anna, and then chime in on what side of the accent you're on, my side or Ron's side.
Yeah.
I just don't feel bad about not watching TV now. I mean, I was feeling pretty bad about myself early on, but now I'm like,
I'm missing nothing, Maria.
No, you're good. You're good. All right. Well, this was super informative. Sometimes, look, we did God's work today. We just saved people.
We did
3+ hours of time.
I mean, here's the fact. The fact is there's great content everywhere now. And I do feel like this show does a service to the general public when we have reviews of negative content.
It's not often, is it, Ron?
I feel like they're
Ron's
taking
been
it
more
away.
and more.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Well, I've been
I mean,
watching more bullshit.
You watch, yeah, it's fair.
I-
If they
I've been
serve
off
it
the
up,
edge.
it's not like Ron goes to find something, right?
No,
It's not like,
no.
oh, I went out of my way to find,
Yeah.
this the worst roommate ever. No, Netflix shoved it in his face. It shoved it into all our faces if you
Yeah.
come to Netflix.
That's
And Ron just pushed back. He's not going to
That
get bullied
to
by
be
Netflix.
fair, Ticketmaster keeps putting Coldplay in my face, so I don't know what this means. So it's
It means you're a little emo baby.
He says, I do not have time for this. I do not have time for you. You got to watch just for these great Anna.
All right, I'm gonna watch that now. I need something to cleanse my my brain of that complete waste of time.
All right. Well, let's see what Jerry.
Royal Treatment 2 has been
something like bomb camel,
bomb camel, and then death.
It's death. What does Lee say here?
Boom Bob.
Yes.
Thank you, Lee. Thanks, Carmen. Thanks, Tina. Thanks, Jerry. Thanks, Jason. Thanks everyone who commented along today. This was super fun. Maria, say goodnight and remind everyone where they can find you.
You can find me on pretty much anywhere. You look at Successfully Chaotic. That's my podcast. That's the easiest way to find me. Or Facebook, Maria Daniels.
Awesome.
Just don't send me weird DMs.
No DMs.
I actually have had to have one of my employees pull crap out of the DMs.
Thank you.
And Fred Carroll, of course. All right. Bob, say goodnight.
Hey, you can catch my show partner Sal and me tomorrow night at Janetti's Hole in the Wall Theater in Northville. Actually, you can't because it's sold out again.
No.
6 in a row.
Oh, wow. How do you sell 15 tickets 6 times in a row? How did you do that?
112. It only seats 80. We're standing room only, baby.
Wow.
Nice.
Wow. Think what it's going to be like when I'm there.
You got it.
I think they only have 20 tickets sold for the week that Jeff is there.
We got a
What's
month.
up to that?
I'll be at the Magic Bag Theater this Friday with Tammy Pescatelli.
You, bro.
One show only. Check that out. Sal, say goodnight.
Same thing Bob said. The Sal and Bob Show, SalDemilio.com. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Yeah, check out Sal and Bob, Jeff Dwoskin Show. Vote for Jeff Dwoskin Show on Live from Detroit, the Jeff Dwoskin Show. If you need a city to enter, Detroit. Ron, say goodnight.
Yeah, I'm back in the friendly skies watching our next shows on whatever Delta has in front of me. So back traveling for my job, and I'm happy to report what's being shown in the skies.
All right,
so you'll see me next week. Yep.
Thanks,
All
Jerry.
right. Well, that was awesome. All right. Thank you, everyone. Maria. Thanks for coming back week after week. Can't thank you enough, and we'll see you next time. And that has been another episode of Crossing the Streams. Join us every Wednesday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time, live on Facebook and YouTube. Follow The Jeff Dwoskin Show on YouTube to be alerted every time we go live with your hosts, Jeff Dwoskin, Ron Lippett, Howard Rosner, Bob Phillips, Sal D'Amelio. We're all in the socials. Follow us. Listen to our podcasts, live from Detroit, The Jeff Dwoskin Show, The Sal and Bob Show. Check them all out, and we'll see you next week and every week when we cross more streams right here. See you then.